Hello and a warm welcome to Federal Special Program Capital Beat. 28 political parties of the India Alliance met yesterday in New Delhi. And the biggest news point which came out from that meeting was that how come Trinamool Congress and Aam Aadmi Party, that is Mamata Banerjee and Arvind Kejriwal, proposed Congress Chief Mallikarjun Kharge's name as the PM face of the alliance. All this while, everyone had been saying that apparently Mamata Banerjee has prime ministerial ambitions. So for her to propose Mallikarjun Kharge's name was quite a surprise. And a mention about this had not been made at all even in the informal meetings. But apart from that, the India Alliance had also passed a resolution to condemn the suspension of 141 MPs. Then there's going to be a nationwide protest against these suspensions, which will be held on December 22nd. As far as seat sharing is concerned, it was decided that the seat sharing will be done at the state level. And if at all there is a roadblock, then the central leaders will intervene. But the biggest question on Kharge being the PM face is that was this a tactical move by Mamata Banerjee and Arvind Kejriwal to keep Rahul Gandhi away, or was it that these two parties were playing a Dalit card? Now, I want to bring up a map before you, which will show the spread of the Dalit population in the country. Now, according to 2011 census data, if you see, then the Dalit population in Uttar Pradesh is about 20.70%. You can see on your screen a map. West Bengal, 23.51%. Then you have Bihar, which has 15.91%. Then followed by Tamil Nadu, which has 20.01%. And Punjab has a maximum population, 31.94%, with Mizoram having the least, that is 0.11%. So just to give you an idea of how much potential this Dalit population has when it comes to the political schemes of the parties, and especially the India Alliance. So coming back to the question that were Arvind Kejriwal and Trinamool Congress trying to play a Dalit card? Let's open the discussion now. I'm joined by Akash Muni, who is an Aam Aadmi Party supporter. Thank you so much, Akash, for joining. We have Puneet Nicholas Yadav, who's a senior editor with TheFederal. Thank you so much. We have Shubhankar Bhattacharya, who's the spokesperson of the Trinamool Congress. Thank you, Shubhankar. And we have Siddharth Sharma, who's a political commentator, joining us from Bangalore. Thank you, Siddharth, so much for joining. And let me begin with Shubhankar today. That Shubhankar, I really want to know from you that what was the idea behind Kharge being projected as the PM face and coming as it does, especially from Mamata Banerjee proposing the name?
I think, Niviji, it's a very good move from the India Alliance if they actually uh, choose from because see, I always say that if you want to sustain Congress ego, so you have to allow Congress to lead from the front if you really want that leadership to happen. If there is a consensus over the leadership, which is from the Congress coming, okay. So now the thing is that if you really want to have a face from the Congress, I think Kharge is a better face. The reason behind it, not only that, the population that he actually represents or any other thing, but the main thing has been is that if you go through the entire history, anytime, whenever we try to have a platform where we brought in all the India Alliance people together, earlier we were calling it Mahagathbandhan. So whenever we were trying to have such kind of alliances, so it was only Kharge ji who was actually attending the show. So the most of the dialogue that has been over since last say 2 or 3 years, it was only with Mallikarjun Kharge only, and he has taken a lot of pain to establish that kind of
Shubhankar,
confidence among.
Shubhankar, so Shubhankar, are you saying that right at the start, Trinamool Congress was trying to massage Congress's ego, and that is why that was a compelling reason for you to propose Mallikarjun Kharge's name as a PM face of the alliance? Is that what you're
Yeah,
indicating?
I'm just being a little honest, right? So the thing is that I'm taking that liberty to open up over here. That much you can say. Because even if I just make the story around, if you want to have a make-up story, I can I can name a number of reasons behind that. But let us be practical. Let us be practical. Why exactly it has happened? See, Mallikarjun Kharge has become a common agent to everyone. He actually tried to establish that sort of confidence with Congress and with the other alliances as well. And he was quite successful in doing that. So while the central leadership of other parties tried to reach the Gandhis, but the person who actually came up front, standing at every front whenever there was a fight in Bengal or trying to establish a contact, while there was a confrontation between Adil and Chaudhary and our party leaders over there in Bengal. So it was every time the Mallikarjun Kharge came up over there and he tried to just cool down the entire situation and tried to establish that sort of confidence in between the two leadership. He was quite successful in doing that. Another time, it was quite hard to reach. It might be any reason, but it was comparatively harder to reach Rahul Gandhi or Sonia Gandhi or any central leadership in Congress. So that is one of the reason. I think this is also somehow we can say that it is there is a I think it's a signal to Congress that you should understand that there has to be a leadership which actually doesn't sound like, we don't want a boss on the head, but we want a central leadership. We want something which the consensus can, totally ease us to. We want a person who can
Okay, Shubhankar.
head the
Shubhankar, I'm
entire alliance.
interrupting you here. I'm interrupting you here. I think there is some audio problem at your end. Your audio is not very clear, but what I can sense is that what you said, that you're trying to massage the ego of Congress and you want a central leader who's acceptable to all is something which I can gather. Now, let me come to Akashdeep Puni. You tried reconnecting your audio once again, Shubhankar. I think you'll have to check your earplugs or something because there's a certain echo. Your audio wasn't very clear. Akash, what do you think has been the strategy of Arvind Kejriwal behind proposing Mallikarjun Kharge?
See, Niluji, this is a very apt move by the India Alliance. Why I say this? Because see the history of Mallikarjun Kharge. Who is Mallikarjun Kharge? A seven-time MLA, two-time MP, and he has been in the cabinet previously. He has so much experience. He is the one on whom you cannot put that nepotism angle upon him, that he is because come up because of nepotism. On Rahul Gandhi you can. He is a figure. We all know what happened to his mother when he was 7, when what Rajakar did with his mother. We all know. He also is a prominent Dalit face. Of course, he is. He is Ambedkar follower. He is a clean face, and he's a bilingual face, multilingual face. He's from South. He speaks Hindi as well. He speaks clearly. He is respected in the circles, BJP circles as well. So he's a very prominent and good face to go with. And why it is needed, Neeluji, you have to understand this. Why today is needed. You and I can talk so much, as many much as we can. But the most important factor is that the government here doesn't care. The government does not care what you think. Either you are with the government or you are in jail or suspended. 141 member of parliament suspended. Just imagine. And to save whom? One MP who has issued a permission to two people who have entered the parliament. So the person who has given the pass, Pratap Simha, he is inside the parliament. Brij Vishnu Saran Singh is inside the parliament. And 141 opposition leader who are questioning are outside the parliament. And you see, you recently have seen what happened in the case of Chhagan Bhujbal. In 2016, Chhagan Bhujbal was put behind bars for 2 years. He was behind bars in 2023. He joins BJP and ED goes to the Maharashtra court and takes back the case. So, Niluji, either you are a BJP or you are enemy of this country, and we will put you behind bars. This is the notion. And I think the India bloc should have done this much earlier. And I request the India bloc, please do it aggressively. Now it's time to go for door to door campaigning. Start your campaign trail. You have left with no time. You just
So,
have three
Akash,
to
all
four
that is
months.
fine. There's nothing new in what you're saying. But my point is that you yourself said that Rahul Gandhi doesn't have that clean an image which Kharge has. So, my pinpointed question to you is that is this a tactical move to keep away Rahul Gandhi? And also through Kharge, you will try and play your Dalit card.
See, Niluji, one small point I'll make. The opposition today has very less limited options. The only option they have is 2024. So this tactical move, PM aspirations of Mamata, PM aspirations of Arvind Kejriwal, this is put by BJP IT cell deliberately so that there should be some division in the India bloc. It is not that. The India bloc is together. Now, being together, can they win elections? They can win elections only when people support them. And people will support a person with a clean image, which is a self made man, and which they can put forward in front of Narendra Modi ji. So, Mallikarjun Kharge is a very good example.
No, but okay, all right. I'll come back to you again, but let me come to Siddharth now. That if everybody is so confident about Mallikarjun Kharge, then why not simply declare his name? But Mallikarjun Kharge himself said that no, he categorically, in fact, rejected. He said that first let's win the elections and then we'll see who becomes the PM. Now, what is the ploy according to you? Why Mallikarjun Kharge's name was proposed yesterday as the PM face? And I really want to talk to you about the Dalit card. Is this really a clean Dalit card which the India Alliance is trying to play?
Uh, well, one thing is very clear, and I'm speaking here as a political analyst. Do not add any value judgment to it. This is some facts that I am speaking. BJP has been ruling this nation for the last 10 years, and it sees India as a golden chain. Whereas, from the perspective of the states see India as a garland of different flowers. So there is a fundamental difference. BJP stands for unilateralism. I'm not saying unilateralism, unitary governance, and whereas the states want more federalism. So BJP always harks on nationalism. So if you go into hyper nationalism, the only antidote to hyper nationalism is either sub regionalism or casteism. So we'll have to understand this thing, that just like in a cricket match, the opposition always wants to play on the Achilles heel of its opponent, the weak point of its opponent. BJP, everyone today knows that it has it is straddled with three very big problems. One is whenever Adani AB, I call it as ABC and A, B and C square. A for Adani, B for Beti Bachao or Brijbhushan Sharan Singh, and two C's, caste and China. So whenever this issue of caste comes up, BJP is on severe back foot. A lot of people in India see BJP rule as a little bit of an elitist kind of a rule, because be it farmers, BJP comes up with laws which are anti-farmers as per the farmers. Again, I'm saying, please don't add value judgment to me. The farmers are saying that the farm laws are anti-farmers. In Manipur, there is an ethnic conflict going on, and BJP has kept its eyes closed. There is something called as Beti Bachao, but Betis are not bachawed even by their own MPs like Brijbhushan Sharan Singh. On caste census also, BJP is on a severe backfoot. Even today, RSS said that BJP should not go into caste census. So BJP is seen by a large section of society in India as running an elitist government. And the latest NCRB report also says that the crime against Dalits in India has in fact increased. It is nearly 49,000 crimes against Dalits in Uttar Pradesh. So it is nobody's case that Dalits are feeling marginalized. Now, coming to the absolute numbers, you were saying, before that, I'll tell you something about Rahul Gandhi. This whole canard of Rahul Gandhi trying to become the prime minister or the prime minister's case, I find it a little bit hard to digest, simply because if Rahul Gandhi wanted to become the prime minister between 2004 and 2015, he could have easily become prime minister or a minister of Indian government. He did not. So I don't think Rahul Gandhi is in the reckoning here, even from his own standards. But having said so, I agree to Shubhankar that Congress has to lead the charge here. And again, coming back to the main point that I was trying to make, you were speaking about some Dalit populations across India, in Uttar Pradesh being 20%. In Karnataka also, there is 18% Dalit population. So I'll come to the political aspect now. Mm, just take up these two states, Uttar Pradesh and Karnataka. In 2019 elections, these two states comprised nearly 110 seats in Lok Sabha. That is nearly 20% of the seats. And the BJP won more than 100 seats. So BJP literally swept Uttar Pradesh and Karnataka. Now imagine if a Dalit like Mallikarjun Kharge is made the prime ministerial candidate. Obviously, BJP will start losing seats in Karnataka. Obviously, there will be Dalit consolidation of votes in Uttar Pradesh. Even Mayawati will find it very hard not to support Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge's name. That would consolidate the Dalit votes against BJP. So this also makes a very good political sense. And I think for the last question that you asked, I think Mallikarjun Kharge also comes from there is also a political party. So before Mallikarjun, it's a name of the proposal of Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge is one thing, but the ratification will have to come through Congress, and that too after they've had and they make it formally announced in the CWC. So there is a process that needs to go on. So, but I think Mr. Kharge's name makes good sense here politically as well as sociologically. It is going to capture a bigger mind space in the minds of the people of India than
Yes.
any other name. I believe so.
I'll just come back to you on that point where you said that let's take the examples of the seats in Karnataka and Uttar Pradesh. So if Kharge's name is announced, then obviously BJP begins to lose its seats in Karnataka. Now, there are two things which you said. One is that alluring Mayawati towards the India alliance, and one is, of course, losing seats in Karnataka. I'm just going by these 2 points, what you mentioned. So was this again a tactical move to get in Mayawati closer towards the India alliance? And also, at the same time, seeing that the BJP's number of seats decline in Karnataka. Are these two very clear strategies by doing this?
I think it was not a strategy tactical within Team India. It is a very clear Achilles heel of the BJP. BJP is on the back foot regarding caste census. The NCRB data is clearly showing that there is Dalits, the crime against Dalits are going up. It's very clear that to a large section of India, whatever percentage they feel that BJP is running an elitist government. So the people who do not, the have-nots, will obviously come together, and when the have-nots will obviously come together, they will try to find a name or a acceptable face which is acceptable to all. And obviously, Congress being the biggest partner in the alliance, and Mallikarjun Kharge being the Congress president, that was the most obvious name to get proposed. I don't think it was a tactical anything between the India alliance team members. It is a strategical move against BJP. Now, how it will pan out, how it will play out, I really don't know. That is in the future. I do not have the crystal ball. I'm just saying the political, as an analyst, I'm just highlighting the political aspects of it.
All right. Puneet was there yesterday. He attended the India Alliance meeting. Puneet, this aspect, what we have been discussing about the Dalit card being played, roping in Mayawati and making her as part of the India Alliance. Were there any murmurs within India Alliance before this? You have been in touch with the leaders. You've been talking to them. Have you been hearing any kind of murmur on this line? That the first day, this is the first thing which will happen. Mamata Banerjee and Kejriwal will propose Kharge's name. And of course, if you look at the points which Siddharth just mentioned, do you think that that is the line in which the India Alliance is clearly moving?
Well, just one correction. I wasn't attending the India Alliance meeting. I was covering it.
Yeah,
you know, so I was only there at the briefing. I was not a fly on the wall.
Yes.
But see, from what I'm given to understand, there was no prior discussion, informally or formally, by either Mamata Banerjee or Arvind Kejriwal with the broader alliance allies. They may have had this discussion among themselves because Mamata Banerjee, when she met Arvind Kejriwal, yesterday, she was on a visit to Delhi for 3 days. So she had individual meetings with Arvind Kejriwal, with Uddhav Thackeray. Now, in those individual meetings, she may have broached this. But from what I'm given to understand, this was not discussed with the wider alliance partners. And it came as a surprise to several of the India parties, including the Congress. I've spent a better part of today and, since the meeting ended yesterday, speaking to various leaders of the India bloc. And this is what I got, that there was, they were Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge or the Congress, other Congress leaders who were present, Ms. Sonia Gandhi and Rahul and others, and other India bloc leaders were as surprised, with this sudden declaration by Mamata. I would also say that, this was something that, see, this meeting went on for a little over 3 hours. The discussion on the PM phase, on whether Mr. Kharge should be projected or not projected, took up, from what I am given to understand, just about 15 minutes of those 3 hours. Because Mamata Banerjee made that pitch, and she mentioned that it would be good for the alliance to have a PM face, and even better if the PM face is a Dalit. And then she referred to Mr. Kharge. And immediately, Arvind Kejriwal, seconded her. I wouldn't call it a proposal because it was not a formal thing. It was a suggestion that came from her. And so, what Shubhankar or the other spokesperson from AAP mentioned, that it's a move by the India Alliance. It's not a move by the India Alliance. It was, at least as of now, it was a suggestion that had come. Now, when both of these leaders mentioned Mr. Kharge's name, it was Mr. Kharge who promptly put an end to that discussion. And one of the leaders present in the meeting told me that Mr. Kharge used a muhavra, a saying, which he has often used, often taken refuge in, even when he's asked questions about chief ministerial faces of the Congress. And he said something to the effect that Bakrid mein jiyenge to Muharram mein nachenge.
Yes.
Yes. Which he later explained in not so colloquial terms during the press conference, and said that, let us first win. But see, from my interactions with the party, the general understanding is that, see, there has been a gradual projection of Mr. Kharge. I had, in fact, written for the Federal back in September that this is the trajectory that the alliance is currently on. So there has been a gradual projection of Mr. Kharge to the forefront. The surprise, as I said, was that the suggestion came from Mamata Banerjee. But even if you look at the Congress, that yesterday when this thing came up, there were a lot of people who said, of course, the BJP.
That because Kharge's name was proposed as the PM face of the alliance, was this the reason why Nitish Kumar and Lalu Yadav apparently walked out? They were not seen in the press conference. And I saw a couple of reports in the media saying that, they didn't like the fact that his name was projected as the PM face. So was this the reason, or was there some other
No,
reason?
well, I'll tell you this for a fact. This I know for a fact, that Mr. Lalu Yadav, at least, had no objection to Mr. Kharge. He did not second the proposal because Mr. Kharge anyway put a very prompt end to that discussion. But he has no problem with Mr. Kharge. He has, in fact, he was among the first leaders, even before Mamata Banerjee and Arvind Kejriwal, back when the India Alliance had its meeting in Bangalore. In the informal discussions, it was Mr. Lalu Prasad who had mentioned that the idea of projecting Mr. Kharge, if not, and at that point, if you remember, there was a lot of talk about a convener or a coordinator for the India bloc, which hasn't been appointed so far. It was Mr. Lalu Yadav who had first suggested, and then he and Tejashwi and Manoj Jha from the RJD, all of them who suggested it will not be a bad idea to have Mr. Kharge leading the charge. But then the point I was trying to make was,
Does that mean, Puneet, that they will not
no,
have a political
just a
effort?
sec,
Yeah.
just a sec. So the point was that they see within the Congress and within the wider alliance, the thinking was that look, just because we have Mamata Banerjee's endorsement and we have Arvind Kejriwal's endorsement, does not mean that you make an announcement immediately. Because it's an alliance of 28 parties. You need to have everybody on board.
Right.
Plus, you've not even finalized seat sharing at this moment. There is although they've not announced a date, from what I'm given to understand, they have said 3 weeks from now. So, as in 3 weeks from yesterday. So, which would tentatively put it around mid-January, is by when they want to finish the seat sharing negotiations at the state level and, of course, the broader blueprint at the central level. And Mr. Kharge again was the one who told Akhilesh Yadav when there was some talk about whether the BSP is being roped in. And he said that, look, don't go by rumors. And whether it is you, whether it is Ram Gopal ji, you have my number. If you hear a rumor and you don't like it, or you want to verify it, call me directly. My doors are always open. My phone is always on for you. That was Mr. Kharge's line. So uh, so the thing is that they would want to take everybody on board before they announce, because if you don't have a seat sharing alliance at the end of a seat sharing agreement at the end of these negotiations, then what are you going to do with a PM face?
That's true.
So there are those tactical issues also, and those practical issues also involved in whether you can announce the name right away or you wait. And see, don't forget
Mayawati,
that you are up against the BJP.
right?
If you announce his name right away, there is every chance that you'll have the ED, CBI, IT landing up at his house from tomorrow morning itself.
Absolutely.
Right?
But does roping in Mayawati or BSP still remain a contentious point? Because even if Congress is very eager to have Mayawati on board, Samajwadi Party is very clear that they don't want to
So,
see.
well, I'll tell you right away. From what I'm given to understand, there is no space for Mayawati in the alliance.
True.
The only discussions that happened with Mayawati and the BSP and with the Congress and the BSP were almost a year ago.
Right.
And they ended very abruptly and not on a very positive note. And after that, there have been, of course, some murmurs from UP leaders of the Congress who have suggested that, let's keep exploring. But the central leadership of the party is absolutely and abundantly clear on this, that we are not bringing Mayawati into this fold. And in fact, Mr. Kharge made that abundantly clear to Akhilesh Yadav yesterday, because when Ram Gopal Verma said that he actually gave an ultimatum yesterday at the meeting, when he said that, look, if you are bringing there is a lot of buzz that Congress is in talks with the BSP. We want to make it very clear that if the BSP is being brought in, the Samajwadi Party will go solo. Those were Ram Gopal Verma's, that was Ram Gopal Yadav's ultimatum. And to that, Mr. Kharge immediately said that, look, don't go by rumors, call me up anytime. There is no truth to this. Right. We are not negotiating with BSP.
Right. Yeah. So after listening to Puneet, Akash, if I may come to you, that was this a hurried kind of a proposal made by Aam Aadmi Party? And I'll also ask this question of Shubhankar as well, that looking at all the dynamics and the way the equations are panning out within India alliance, was this a foolish move to just abruptly propose Kharge's name? Kharge himself rejected it. And looking at the equations, which are still settling in, you don't have any finality on the seat sharing, and then automatically just proposing Kharge's name all of a sudden. So wasn't this a foolish move then?
See, this is a new alliance, and there will be suggestions from all around the corner. This was very positive. Why I say this? Because sooner or later, seat sharing will be happening. And sooner or later, there will be a convener, at least, of this whole alliance. Who will be that convener? From which party will be that convener? And you know one thing, the common man understands this as an alliance and they want to see a face, because after 2014 people don't vote for parties, they vote for faces. We all know that. So they need a face that if we are putting our vote, who is going to be the Pradhan Mantri? And if the Pradhan Mantri is going to be nobody and we are just voting for the MPs, then I think India Alliance has a very skewed chance to make it. Kharge's name was very
Are you
aptly.
setting this priority straight away that first declare the PM and then later comes the seat sharing?
No, no. Seat sharing comes first and then declare the PM. But declare the PM, which is very important.
Hmm.
Declare the leader. If you don't declare the leader, the common team man will not vote for you. He'll go for. And the same thing happened, the flip side happened in the Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, and these ports. The flip side happened. So
Hmm.
at this point, in front of Modi, Modi versus who? Do you remember? All media will ask Modi versus who? You have to put a face in front of it that this is our leader and he is going to be the prime minister if we come to power, and then only the common man will vote for you.
Right. So, Shubhankar, how would you then see the move? And of course, if the seat sharing, what Puneet is saying, that will be finalized by sometimes mid-January. So, it looks likely that probably India Alliance will have a face by mid-Jan then. And no other than Kharge is acceptable for your party?
Neeraj, let me come up quite straight. See, like the earlier spokesperson was talking about, Mr. Puneet, I guess. I'm sorry, my screen is not that clear, and I don't know whether my
Right.
face is being seen or not.
Hmm.
So, anyway, Neeraj, what is actually over here is happening is that we need to understand, and I think that the alliance has got the message that they are already quite late. Number one, right? We are quite late if we see to the fact that we still have a narrative to set. You're fighting against, see, Narendra Modi. I always say Narendra Modi is the face of winning BJP. Narendra Modi is not a face of losing BJP. If BJP had lost, say, Rajasthan election and say MP election, the blame would have gone to directly to the Sindhyas over there, to the Mamaji and all. It won't have Narendra Modi coming up front. So Narendra Modi is always projected that he is the face of victory for BJP, right? So now here the alliance, they get catch up in that catch 20 position when it comes to the leadership. Because when it comes to Bengal election, we cannot say that we have Rahul Gandhi fighting for the entire message. It won't be like that. Right. In Bihar, it can never be like that. Even if you fight as an alliance, you will never going to have say, Rahul Gandhi coming up front over there to fight for in that particular region. So here the regional leaders big enough. You need to understand that. In India, it is not like that. The scenario of India is very different. They have, say, at that point of time with that kind of group, it's easier for BJP to come up with a single face. Here, when you have say, leaders like Mamata Banerjee or Arvind Kejriwal, who are actually growing the party, who are having a bigger pace, who are being challenged directly on Modi. See, Mamata Banerjee is currently is made a bigger leader in the country just because Narendra Modi has directly posted her in the opposition. They have a CM case. There's no people fighting over there.
Shubhankar, so Shubhankar, no,
Let me finish.
Shubhankar,
Let me finish.
yeah.
Let me finish. What I need to say over here is that see, when you have too many big leaders in a group, you have to satisfy the ego of everyone. It is a practical question. I'm not answering it as only as a TMTV, but basically it happens like that. Now it was always a challenge that if it is like if say TMC or Aam Aadmi Party or Sapa they accept the leadership of Congress, then if it is going to mean like they are actually accepting the leadership of Rahul Gandhi, now they have actually made it completely far apart. They are saying that no, the leader of the alliance is other than the leader of Congress, right? Here, they also want to build the consensus because they're running out of time. There's hardly any time left. Still, they have not discussed anything. That is why I always said that it could have been far more convenient for the group to say that India Alliance is basically a name for the post-poll alliance. Why don't you put
Does
a
that
group
mean,
which is
no, Shubhankar, just hear me out. So are you trying to put pressure on India Alliance to have a PM phase declare alongside the seat sharing happens? That is a pre-poll alliance, not a post-poll alliance. That's what you're saying. That because earlier I remember, I think Puneet can correct me if I'm wrong, that the earlier when the alliance was formed, people have been saying that first we'll discuss the seat sharing, then the PM phase will be declared once we win the elections, and that's exactly what Kharge also mentioned. So are you trying to put pressure now on India Alliance so that they declare a PM phase? And it's very clear that you don't want Rahul Gandhi as a PM.
of course, and it is the fact. I think everyone believes it. It's the fact because now the concentration, even I think the attack could be diluted in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Basically, it will benefit commerce as well. See, commerce will benefit because now the attack will be diluted from Rahul Gandhi, right? See, yesterday, a simple that symbolic. I shouldn't say. It might be inappropriate way of RTMC leaders, walking the chair like that. But at the very same time, there has been a lot of walking going inside the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. You have seen the PM doing, he has been walking around Gandhi as well. So let's not talk about it. Here the major point is, if we go by single PM phase, and at the very same time, you have to keep the leaders like Arvind Kejriwal, Mamata Banerjee, Lalu Yadav, Nitish, and so in case there are thousands of doubts coming up before the election, it is not good for the alliance. It's not good for the alliance. Because BJP will always have an added narrative मोदी का विकल्प कौन अगर मोदी नहीं तो कौन अब in the last election we heard okay मोदी नहीं तो क्या पप्पू को वोट देगा I'm sorry this was one of the narrative तो क्या पप्पू को वोट देंगे
All right.
it's just like
Now, yeah,
okay.
all right. Puneet, whatever little we could understand from what Shubhankar is saying, that they do want a PM phase to be declared, and that's why they came up with this proposal of having Kharge as the PM phase. Now, what would you make out from the statements of Akash, what he said, and what Shubhankar is really meaning to say? What can one conclude from what happened yesterday then?
Well, Neelu, my understanding is that the alliance will eventually announce a PM phase. The reason why they have not announced it as of now, one of the reasons, there'll be others also, so it's not a very straitjacketed thing. But one of the reasons was that you have to have consensus, and that's an important reason in an alliance. You need everybody on board. Just because two important leaders of the alliance have suggested the name does not mean that everybody has already accepted it. I'm given to understand that they will announce it, but they will announce it once there is proper consultation on this limited subject. And that will happen after the seat sharing negotiations are final. Whether they may happen on the 30th of January, I don't know. There is a possibility that on the, because Mr. Kharge also announced yesterday formally, officially, that there will be 8 to 10 joint rallies of the India Alliance over the next couple of months. So, I mean, before the Lok Sabha elections, the campaign starts. So 8 to 10 is the figure that he had mentioned. I'm given to understand that the first of those rallies will most likely happen on the 30th of January, which also happens to be Martyrs' Day and the death anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, at Gandhi Maidan in Patna. This was a proposal that was discussed. They did not see. Now, I'll give you a parallel. This was a proposal that was discussed in the meeting yesterday, that let us have our first joint rally on the 30th of January in Patna at the Gandhi Maidan. Almost everybody, or actually everybody, was agreed on it. Okay, unlike the question of the PM phase, on which there was no further discussion. But even that was not formally announced that we are going to have it on the 30th of January at Gandhi Maidan in Patna, because the leaders said that, look, these are not announcements we should be making so, straightforward right now. Let everything fall into place. And then we make this announcement of where and when and how this meeting is going. So if even a joint rally, because you remember how in September when the coordination committee meeting happened, the first and only coordination committee meeting happened at Mr. Sharad Pawar's house. And they said that we're going to have our first joint rally in Bhopal in the first week of October. And Kamal Nath came and arbitrarily announced that it's not going to happen. The alliance was left with egg on its face. So I mean, they have to be very careful with what they are officially putting out in the public domain. Because if it was the BJP that was making it and then, going back on its word, it wouldn't have been in a position of being too embarrassed because they brazen it out and the media doesn't blow it out of proportion. But with the India Alliance, there is always a chance that this is going to be, created as one major friction within the alliance, etc. And then they'll be, forced to give justifications. So they have to be very careful with what announcements they make formally, officially, which is why I, in fact, yesterday in one of my interactions with some of the leaders, I also mentioned that, the alliance needs to have spokespersons of the alliance, not party spokespersons, because one statement from some leader of the party coming out and making an out of turn statement about what happened inside could paint the entire alliance in a pretty bad way. And so there are these issues that the alliance needs to navigate.
Right. One question more, Puneet, and before I go for the concluding remark to Siddharth, that, NDTV is trying to put out a report saying that there were two other names apart from Kharge which were discussed, and that is of Nitish Kumar and Priyanka Gandhi. I think it's just flashing in. I just saw, so I thought that I must confirm it with you, that were there any talks? Did you hear anything on Priyanka Gandhi's name and Nitish Kumar? All what I heard was that Nitish Kumar apparently was miffed and he didn't attend the press conference. But was his name at all discussed? Kharge's name was just on those lines. Gandhi and
as far as I know, Nitish Kumar's name was not discussed, but it was Nitish Kumar who mentioned. There was a bit of an a verbal kind of altercation between Nitish Kumar and TR Balu at the meeting yesterday, because the DMK leaders, they spoke in English, or they spoke in Tamil, and some. There was a thing that, will there be a Hindi translation
of his,
and Nitish Kumar, Manoj Jha got up to do the translation, and Nitish Kumar said that I don't want my speech translated. Hindi is the national language, and so that so when he was speaking at that time, he mentioned that I am not here to be projected as prime minister.
Okay.
Okay, this is what I may be wrong, but this was what I could gather, that there was no discussion on him being presented as the PM face. He mentioned that he is not in the race for PM. Secondly, as regards Priyanka Gandhi, the only discussion that happened on her name was that she needs to contest the election. And there again, from what I understand, it was Mamata Banerjee who suggested that it would be appropriate if she contested from a seat in Eastern UP, or better still, against Narendra Modi.
Narendra Modi, that's Varanasi you're mentioning. Okay,
that's right.
Okay. So that on that note, a very interesting question. And the last remark from you, Siddharth, does that leave the window open for India Alliance to have a surprise factor and declare Priyanka Gandhi, if she wins the Lok Sabha seat, to be declared as the PM?
I think we should not miss the forest for the woods here. I think in this program, people from Congress, the TMC, all of them are attending the program. There is something called as the process, and then there is something called as an end product. In a process, while preparing tea, I might start with boiling water first, and your tea, you might start by boiling milk first. But ultimately, both of us will end up with tea. So In this program, as I said, the other parties are represented. BJP is not represented. If imagine I was a BJP supporter, right now I would be very nervous, because right now if a Dalit face, whoever it is, whether it is Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge or somebody else, a Dalit PM face from Team India Alliance is setting a cat amongst the pigeons of the BJP. See from their angle. So that is what yesterday has happened, that BJP is right now on a severe back foot. And whoever's name it is, howsoever it came, I'm not speaking about the process. The end product is that BJP has become very nervous, because BJP's actually heel is exactly this kind of Dalit consolidation. And once imagine if whoever's name, again, I'm not saying Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, a Dalit PM space, if the Team India comes up with, Mayawati will also be forced to support it. How can she go against it? It's not about an alliance anymore. Mayawati has to support it. The Dalit face, anybody it is, when you are saying that 30% of Punjab is Dalit, obviously BJP will be on severe back foot there. If in Uttar Pradesh, you are saying that 20% people are Dalits, whoever the Dalit face is, BJP will be on severe back foot. I think that is the game here. BJP, if I'm a BJP supporter, I'd be having sleepless nights right now, because whatsoever happened in that meeting, the end product it's a cat which I'm very worried about right now.
Right. No, I think to some extent you're right, because I did read on some Hindi websites also that, RSS and BJP is really in a tizzy since the time they've heard that Kharge's name could be proposed as a PM face. But I would also look at this tactics as maybe a psychological tactics to put some kind of a pressure on BJP to derail them psychologically. But who knows, India Alliance PM face could just be a surprise. And how can we just dismiss that Priyanka Gandhi will be not? So let's wait and watch after and see what happens on the seat sharing front. And then later on comes the PM face. Thank you so much for joining, Siddharth Sharma, Shubhankar, Akashdeep, Puneet. Thank you so much for joining. And one appeal to the viewers who are watching this discussion: subscribe to our channel, send us your feedback, and stay tuned to The Federal. Thank you.
Subscribe to The Federal's YouTube page for more news and updates.